excited there, aren't you, Mr. D Jones?
Hey man, I got
Ready to go.
a slight headache. I'm just trying to shake off, man. Man, I've been fasting for the last 2 days, so I'm detoxing. So
Word. My Jamal, he did like a 4-day fast, man.
Good crocodile eye, Raymond. Good crocodile eye, man.
yeah, that fasting is no joke, man. I tell you, making it through the first day, I just
No, it ain't no
remember
joke.
like that the first they say that the third day is the roughest. That first day was the roughest for me, man. I was dreaming about food, man. That shit was crazy, bro.
Okay, when do you eat?
Well, I didn't eat for the first day. I
Nothing.
what nothing.
Okay.
And yesterday I didn't eat until around 5 o'clock, and I had a salad and some butternut squash soup.
Okay.
And today I probably won't eat till around 5,
Okay. Yeah.
and it'll be
I
Proud
would
of
it,
you,
say
man.
I would say if you're gonna fast, you fast from
yeah. So
from sun
it'll
up to sundown.
it'll be a salad today. But the first day I didn't eat anything.
I'm proud of you, man.
So
And I
yeah.
need you to go 4 more days without anything, though,
No,
man.
I'm gonna fast till next Saturday.
What you eating? Just soup?
Well, I had a salad yesterday. So yeah, soup and salad. Nothing hot. Nothing.
That's
Yeah.
good, Raymond. You gonna do it?
Hmm.
Cause all I've been doing is juices and soups.
So yeah, real.
Good day. Welcome to the brand new for 2021 Get Established show. Thank you for tuning in, interacting, and subscribing to this very new platform. We are looking forward to sharing this with you. Today, we got a show. We'll tell you a little bit about us as we open up to this new year and this new show. We're looking forward to it. I'm going to pass it over to my brother Raymond.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Raymond Shine. These individuals here call me Shine. Other people do as well. Some people know me out the hood as Raymond Shine.
One
People
word.
in the people that know me from the hood call me Mon Frey. And of course I know these guys from high school. I met Derek's brother Chris after that, but we all formed a bond, from that. And through that, it's brought about numerous situations and ventures that we all went in. And hey, it helped continue to keep that bond going between us. Yeah, I am known as an artist of the bunch, so that work has been a part of our ventures, and you know has helped us form faces or identities from those ventures. All right, from there, I'm just gonna hand it over to Derek.
Hey everyone, my name is Derek Jones, also known as D Jones. I went to school with these gentlemen. A gentleman named Chris Jones is actually my brother. We are from Portsmouth, Virginia. I am now living in Atlanta. I've been here a little over 20 years. I came here after high school, but we all still keep in contact with each other. It's really crazy. Like Big and Raymond were my friends from school, and after school, um, I guess they became real good friends with my brother Chris. So that's how we all came together. Um, it's a real unique bond. We don't just view each other as friends. We operate as brothers. We have arguments. We have good times. We do a lot together. We come together when one of us is going through something. It's a good bond, and I love these gentlemen just like family. So I'm just gonna pass it over to my brother Chris at this point.
Hey, my name is Chris Jones. Like I said, I'm the older brother of Dirk, and these other two of my little brothers. All of my brother, but the real thing, we have conversations all the time on the phone when we get together, and the conversations be like mostly how we doing these shows, and we have some real good topics, and we have a lot of energy. We comedy, I joke a lot, and we be serious, but we all drop a lot of information, and we talk from our hearts, and we want to just elevate people, give them some foresight of how we think and some of the views we have, and this is what the show is about. All is bonding together as brothers, and we just giving our point of view and just trying to help, hopefully that the messages we give that can help somebody in any situation. I'll pass it back to the bigger brother, bigger than us, even though he's younger, Mr. Big.
Yo, it's big. I'm the button pusher. This is real cool because we actually started having, we would just randomly have these conversations, and they would get so good on different topics. We were like, one day somebody was like, we should do this as a podcast, and the seed was dropped. And what are you doing?
The camera angle is pointing down at you, so that's why I pointed at. When you said that, I said you were the one that initiated that idea on the
Me, okay.
thought of the podcast.
Well, right, we still all decided to do it, but we had done I met Derek in elementary school. Yeah, so it was like 4th or 5th grade. That's how long we known each other. Met Raymond in what they call middle school. Now it was junior high back then. It was like in the 7th grade. We all grew up in the same city, different parts. And then Chris being the older of the group, Derek's brother, that's how I ended up meeting Chris. Me and Chris actually done some ventures together. We did some music together. Raymond and I have been a part of, doing some things with music. Derek as well. And then it's just a lot of we got a good camaraderie that's been going on for many, many years, and we thought this would be a good fit. So some of the conversations that that we have been able to bring together have been pretty interesting to us, and we thought it may be interesting to you. We do have another gentleman that works with us on a regular basis. His name is Hezekiah. We're going to allow him to tell you about himself probably in one of the spots going forward. He's not with us today, but we'll definitely do that because with the shows that we have in the hopper, the ones that'll be coming out, he will be in quite a few of them, and his input will be around. I'm sure you guys will enjoy him as well. And Derek, tell us a little bit how you and Hezekiah met.
It's interesting. Me and Hezekiah have been knowing each other a little over 20 years. I bowl. That's what I do in my spare time. And I actually met him in a bowling alley. And it was just something about him. Personality just clicked. So I asked him to bowl in the league with me, and we just became real good friends. Hezekiah's from the D.C., Baltimore area / Louisville.
Right.
And he just clicked. A lot of his values aligned with mine, and we just became real good friends.
That's dope. Dope. So growing up, we did a few things. Derek was pretty serious about his basketball game.
Running up and down the court like a road runner.
Yeah, he was pretty fast. Fast. But over time, things have changed with us. We've had, got married, have kids, and all of us here are uncles, and most of us are fathers. We are excuse me, we all in situations where our parents have gotten older or still are getting older. I still have fortunate and blessed still to have both of my parents. Sometimes you'll hear from me from a standpoint dealing with the older people. I didn't lose my first grandparent till I was 34 years old.
Mm.
So I see that as a very important and unique facet of the Black family, and that's a lot what we're gonna talk about. Um, Rain, did you guys? Let me. I'm trying to remember how old were you guys when you lost your grandparents?
I think our first grandparent that died. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I was our grandmother on our mom's side. I know I was 27 years old, so that would make Chris 29 when she died. She died in actually 2001, January 2001 to be exact. We buried her on her birthday.
I remember.
Mm.
Yeah, so and I remember that. That was really significant for me. She raised me, so um, when she passed, let me just say this: she was sick for about 6 months prior to her passing, and when she passed, I just remember I had mixed emotions because on the one hand, I remember just being happy that she wasn't in any pain and she wasn't going through anything anymore, and just on the other hand, I wasn't there; I was here, so and I saw her, probably about 3 months before she passed, and I remember my aunt calling me and asking me to come home because they didn't know how many days she had left. So I flew in. This is real crazy. I flew in, and my aunt was there the day before and told her that Derek's coming in to see you. I flew in. We got back to the house, and the nursing facility that she was in called and said she had just passed
Mm.
when I
Mm.
got there. So it was real crazy, but I was at peace. I was at peace. The one thing I will say about death with our elders, if you had a chance to spend time with them and just learn from them, at some point, they get to a certain age where they're dealing with different ailments. For me, I was at peace with her transitioning. So I was able to grieve in a different way than, let's say my mom or my uncles. But she raised me, she instilled a lot in me. It was real difficult raising a kid in the 70s and 80s for her because she raised her kids in the 50s and 60s. And it was difficult for me too. I mean, I felt like, I felt like a slave in some instances, but
Right.
I do appreciate everything she did for me.
Now with because I'm real bad with the dates. I mean, I remember everything going on with that, but the time frame is different for me. Um, how do you think that um impacted you? Just the impact of, because there's a lot of people. I know there's people that I talk to. Their grandparents died when they were younger, so they didn't have a older experience with their grandparents.
Uh I mean, I was at peace. I mean, I was thankful for the things that, she taught me. And let me just say this. I actually, me and Chris wasn't as close. I lost my grandfather, and he wasn't my biological grandfather. He was my step grandfather. I didn't look at him like that when I was 12 years old. And I think that impacted me more, as far as behavioral wise than my grandmother passing. I remember when I was just entering middle school, and when he died, that was my best friend. We did everything together. So when he died and he left, my grandmother, it was just this unsaid, unspoken situation where I became the man of the house. And that was a lot of pressure for a 12-year-old. I just remember having to escort her to different events, taking over the duties that he did in the household, which he already had prepped me for, but it was just different. And she leaned on me for different male aspects. As a 12-year-old, it was pretty interesting, but it prepared me for the rest of my life. So I think that situation, affected me more than my grandmother passing, um, because I was so young. As being older and her leaving, I just looking back at things she taught me and just hearing her voice when dealing with certain situations, I was good. The one thing about my grandmother, she was born in 19, I want to say 1920. And the things that she experienced growing up as a black girl in South Carolina and the things she went through, being spit on,
Hmm.
being called nigger, being hot water thrown on, just all the experiences she told me about. The one thing that I can say is she never had any hate in her heart for white people. And I remember like coming out of Churchland Junior High School, I wanted to go to Norcom. That's a black school in the city of Portsmouth. Proud black school.
Mm-hmm.
And she refused to let me go to that school because she wanted me to go somewhere where the atmosphere had different races. So I would be able to communicate, be able to relate, be able to respond to different cultures. So she made me go to Churchland. I'm thankful for that because I met you and Raymond. But um, it was just amazing that this woman grew up in that civil rights era, and she had no hate in her heart for Caucasian people. She was a true Christian. When not to get into religion, but she really stuck to and believed love that neighbor no matter what. So I think I took that from her, and that helped me throughout life. No matter what somebody does to you, don't let them change who you are. Because I think a lot of times as individuals, when people do things to us, um, a lot of times we let that situation change our outlook and who we are. And that was a lesson that I learned from her. You don't give them that much power. Be true to yourself and don't allow somebody to change your thought process and who you are because they do something wrong. So
Mm. That's man. I I feel you on that. That's powerful. I think about because like when I lost my first grandparent at 34 years old. So that's like unheard of for a lot of people. I had three when I was born, and they started to pass away. But I had these experiences, and having grandparents is I think it's powerful because you like the parents, but you can hear differently from your grandparents because most time they not chastising like your parents are, or it's like almost they don't judge you as hard. I mean, Chris, you live with y'all's other grandmother. How do you feel that kind of impacted you?
I mean, he gave me a lot of discipline because, like I said, when we was younger, we like growing up with our grandparents, it was more strict. You know what I'm saying? As I got older, I got a little more wilder, but I was, I had to go to church every Sunday. I had to go to, if I didn't go to church, I couldn't go outside until a whole week because it was always mandatory. If you can't get up and praise the Lord, and you can't go outside the rest of the week. So it was like, if I was stubborn like my granddaddy and laid in that bed, you won't be going outside that week. And she meant that. And I stayed in that house that whole week where everybody knocking on the door. Can he come out to play ball? Nope. Yeah, I had to sit there. And it was a disciplining thing because, like I said, I used to watch kids hang out past the 9 o'clock bomb, and they could walk the streets 10 o'clock at night at 7 or 8, and I couldn't do that. I had to be in the house. Um, my grandma was always one of my queens. Both of my grandmamas always, gave me love. So it's like I looked at both of them, with that type of thing. My granddaddy, he was like really on far as like I remember my other granddaddy was one there talking about Mr. Gray. He passed away, and I didn't have a bond with him, but me and him was cool. And I was more younger at the time, so when it's like when I would see him, it was boom, and then he was gone. It was like so. I really didn't spend a lot of time with my side of my grandmama until Dirk came on that side to the picture. Um, the one I was raised with, um, John and Lizzie Jones, they was the ones, gave me the most of my foundation. My grandmama was the foundation. She was more of the rock. And when he died, I think I was like 24 when my granddaddy, John Jones, died. I think Dirk was still in Atlanta. I had just got back from Atlanta, matter of fact. Because both of them, when I got back, they were getting Alzheimer's and had go to the nursing home because at first I got back, I was trying to help them, but it was too much when you had two people who was getting Alzheimer's. It was times my granddad would get up and just walk out the house, and I would have to call my cousin. We had to ride around, and he walking around. His brother done passed away, and his brother used to stay out London Oaks, and we stay way downtown in Brighton. He walking all down the streets trying to go to London Oaks to find his brother, and he don't even remember his brother done passed away, or I might have been asleep, and my grandma would get up 6 o'clock and put something on the stove, and she be on the porch 6, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm smelling smoke. I had to jump up. So when I first got back, I was trying to take care of two people who was like, having Alzheimer's, and it was stressful. So the family had to get together, and they tried to get a nurse, and they decided to put them in a nursing home, which I kind of didn't want to do. I wanted like, the family take time, shifts, trying to take care of, somebody who took time with you. Because I looked at it, they raised me and Dirk. You know what I'm saying? My grandmama raised Dirk. My grandmama raised me. So it's like they sacrificed their life to raise us. I wanted to, as they got old, I wanted to invest into their time too, because they invest. Because without me, like I said, without them, ain't no telling what I could have been. I don't know our capability of me and Dirk's mom, because I watch a lot of stories, and she might have left us somewhere, or something could have happened, or we could have been dead. Ain't no telling. But I feel like God put us in the situation we needed to be in to give us what we needed to be raised. And when that had happened, like I said, the family got together. They and that's a hard thing when you love somebody who raised you, and you look at them, you want the best for them. You didn't, I was kind of mad about it, but my dad and his sisters and everybody, they figured like this is the best thing to do, put them in a nurse, because they needed, 24/7, attention. I think ain't but one sister kind of wanted to, that was my Aunt Didi. She kind of wanted to, you know, alternate, and everybody try to be there to help, live with them, but it didn't go that way. And for a minute, I was kind of hurt about that because I hated to see my grandmama and granddaddy going in a nursing home. Like, that ain't something I felt like, they get old, just throw them in a nursing home. They no good no more, because they don't get the love in a nursing home as they will with their family. If if you ordinated family, people, that's their job. They just go there to check on you. They might speak on you, and you might be there, and you lonely. And so, I feel like as we get older, you want your child or somebody there to, spend time with you. And I would go there, and the more I would go see her, it would hurt me because she started getting worse. Well, my granddaddy passed away first, and then my grandma was still there, and I would go see her, but she was getting dementia so bad and Alzheimer's that she didn't even know who I was, and it used to hurt me to my heart to even see her in that situation because you used to seeing a strong woman that when you were little, that a woman that showed you, this and that and everything, and then you can see her that she needs something, and you don't know how to help to change the situation, to help her get her mind back, to help her think and all that, and that there kind of bothered me, and doing the same process with my grandmama. My dad fell ill, and the sad thing about that, I remember when my dad fell ill, he was so sick, he wanted to go see his mama. And he was like, I can't even see my mama. Because I say I'm sick and I want to see my mama and I can't see my mama. Then my dad out of the blue just died. He died before his mama. And I like, that was the first hit. Because I just had my granddaddy. Derek came down. We just did what I did. Then I would say a couple of maybe a months to a year later, my grandmama died.
Yeah, that was
So, it was like,
that was a rough year.
Yeah,
and that was 2006.
Yeah.
So
she died like, I want to say the end of 2006 or the beginning of 2007.
Yeah, that's crazy. My son was born that year, and it hit hard for me because my son was coming in the world, and I lost two of my loved ones. Um, and let me just add this about John Jones. He was a man's man. I love that. Listen, my grandfather, I loved having conversations with him because he was a man's man. I tell you this, man, that with the dementia hadn't set in, uh, that it wasn't like they were dealing with it like that, but it was this one incident where me and Chris were at the house, and My grandfather asked my grandmother, Lizzie Jones, John Jones asked Lizzie Jones to cook him something to eat. Woman, go in there and cook me some food. As she went in, like she was like, I ain't cooking you a goddamn thing, John Jones. I wouldn't cook you another meal if you asked me to have a baby with gold titties, gold nipples. Man, you remember that, Chris?
They were like that all the time, but
listen,
the funny
they were in
thing
the
was,
bathroom. My grandmother pulled out a skillet. I think my grandfather was on the toilet, and she would get ready to go upside his head with that skillet.
Oh, boy, that's some old school
Man,
stuff.
I had to call my dad over. He had to come over there. It was the craziest.
This the crazy thing. They was always like that, but she always cooked dinner and everything. She cleaned the house. He cut the grass. He did everything. Even when he was old, he did the flower bed. They always had a unity of what to do in that house. And they've been together so long, even though they were stubborn like that, they always did what they needed to do to make everything work. And they worked as a unit. And that's what kind of absorbs me when I look at relationships today. Because, no matter how the situation was between them, they still kept everything functionable for their house. She made sure, because my granddaddy couldn't even sign his name. All he could do for his name was put an X. He couldn't even read or write. He could count money, but he could never read or write. So when they said put your signature, he would just put an X. That's all he knew how to do. He didn't know how to spell Jon, none of John, nothing. He just knew how to just put an X. That was his signature, just an X.
So these things is what is going to shape the way that we think, and that we bring some things to the table. Raymond, I know your grandparents passed away a little bit earlier in your life, right?
Yeah, my grandparents. Well, most of my by the age of 12, all my grandparents passed away. Like I told you before, my grandmother on my mother's side, she passed away when I was about 10. And that was something that is like, okay, well, I did not get the lessons that she could have taught me, of course, with me being at such a young age. Her husband, which was my step grandfather, he passed away some years after that. But once he passed, we kind of lost contact with him. My grandmother on my father's side, she passed away, like I said, when around 12, when I came 12. She was ornery, because she was always willing. She always willing to, hey, look, go cut that switch and bring it right back over here. If you don't, and don't bring me back nothing little, because you bring something little, I'm gonna go get something. And when I go get it, I'm tearing that hand up, And I mean, she was a grandma that you didn't want to go over, because it's always don't sit on that right there, because that's my good stuff. Don't sit on that. You sit on the floor. Don't do nothing. Y'all sit there and be quiet. Don't say nothing. Don't do nothing. Because if you do, I'm going to whoop every one of you. That's how it was there.
Oh, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I know everybody grandmama probably was like, when that thunderstorm came, sit in the middle of the room and be quiet.
Yeah, turn the TVs off.
Your grandma didn't tell you that.
Turn the TVs off. Don't. You had to turn the TV off. Be quiet, lay there. Yeah, when the thunderstorm came, you better have that TV on. You had that TV on, and you should boom, turn them TVs off. That right then, that's it. Lay down, be quiet. You said lay down, be quiet.
My mother's mother was like that, but
my grandma, we had turned it off.
But my mother on my grandmother on my father's side, no, she wasn't like that. She was just like, hey, don't. She that was just house rules. You don't touch nothing. Don't run in the house. Don't do nothing. You just sit there and be quiet.
Did she have that plastic? Did she have her furniture covered up in plastic like the rest of us had? And then she had a sanctuary in the front room that you couldn't go in. Nobody could go in that front room.
The whole house was a sanctuary. I just told you. Don't touch nothing. Don't do nothing. Sit on the floor. That's how she had us. The house was don't touch nothing. Nothing.
Wow. That's
My
crazy.
grandmother.
And so, you know, it's so funny.
Cora Jenkins was ruthless.
It's so funny to hear him say that. 'Cause I'm still scratching my head. What happened to that grandmama? Because these kids now can't sit down in a house like that and respect them. The grandmas back then seemed like they would have killed you if you buzzed and did something they told you not to do. It was like you really got a foot broke off in you. You know what I'm saying? These kids now, they just do whatever they want in the house. And your grandma got to talk to them over and over, no consequence.
We didn't have grandmas in their 30s back then, though.
Right, this you know.
Yeah, we didn't have 36, 37-year-old grandmas back then. So.
Yeah, that's the difference.
We had the grandmas with the house coats on, frying chicken and stuff, you know.
Yeah, man.
But that's just one part of the shaping of how our story is gonna be told, you know, on this channel, because we all had the exposure of our grandparents. Now, all of us, like I said earlier, all of us are uncles, and I like to start with Raymond. Raymond, I know y'all gonna get to know, y'all get to see some of Raymond's artwork as we move on. Raymond is a phenomenal visual artist, from the hand to the computer to paint, whatever. He's like that. And he's also an uncle. And I think you told me before about the impact of how you even started drawing was from, you know, learning from your brother.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna encompass it all, because I told y'all how I grew up, but my morality, the seeds of my morality started when I would go with my brother would have comic books, and he would draw, from them. I kind of course, me being the younger brother, he was 2 years older than me, similar to like Chris and Derek. I would follow him in a lot of things, and drawing was one of them, and that's what shaped my ability and desire to want to do it, was from comic books. And like I said, that reading that helped build that sense of wanting to help people, even though that a lot of things that like I said happened in my household as I was growing up helped shape a lot of my thoughts about how things are. But that was one of the things that shaped my morality. Me as an uncle, that was based off of course, my brother's passing. When I was younger, my treatment of my nieces and nephews was a little like a little brother, treated his younger brother or sister. He would, kind of, bully him a little bit, kind of push him around and stuff like that. But once my brother passed, I kind of did a 360, and it made me be more connected to them as in a fatherly type of role, in a sense. Especially my brother's sons. And I mean, I know, well, let me just say this, because I know that some people know me as Tim Shine's brother. So that when I say his sons, that's who I take under my wing, his sons, and try to be as, like a father like figure to them. Not I'm their uncle, but I know with his absence, there is someone needs to give them some kind of guidance
Mm-hmm.
in this world. So that's what I try to do with them. I try to be as understanding as possible I can be with how they do and go about life. I mean, they want to. I mean, what I say about kids. They always pick up those genes from the parents, so they don't see it because of their knowledge of them or lack thereof. But because I know, I can see some of him in them. So that's what kind of makes me look at them, and say, okay, well, yeah, that's that's Tim, But I mean, it's it's a enriching thing to see them grow up and see the offspring that they have, and see how they go about trying to rear their kids. So it's just something that really is enriching in my life as well.
That's dope. I know for me, I can be the fun uncle, the mean uncle, the brother uncle, because I have, man, I hate to even try to count the number now. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I got a right.
I mean, I can say that too. So.
Right. So my oldest sister, when she had her first child, she had the first child, and I was 12 when her son was born. So we're only 12 years apart. And me and her are 14 years apart. So sometimes she get it twisted and might think she my mama. Happy birthday to Felicia. Her birthday tomorrow, even though this won't be out for a while, but still. But we got a good relationship. I got with my nieces and nephews. It's when we all get together. It's a special thing. It only happens periodically. Now we haven't been able to do it here recently because of COVID. We have done some Zooms and stuff like that for the grandparents' birthdays or people's birthdays, but having a niece and nephew is it's kind of like, in a sense, especially if they got good parents and their parents are around, it's kind of like being just another piece of guidance stuff people can bounce stuff off of, but it's without the super amount of restriction of a parent. So it's kind of like a big sibling, but I don't know. I can't use my words right there properly to describe it. But people that have those uncles that they can rely on, it's a special thing, and that's one of the things that we want to bring to the table is being able to kind of provide balance with this village mentality of everybody kind of doing their part and being available. Because right now, what concerns us mostly, and I'm not saying it's our youth, it's the new adults is what's concerning us. Those people are right on the brink of the new adults. And that starts about, would y'all agree, about 16 years old?
Yeah.
About and it may be a little bit younger, but what's happening it seems like it's a lot of people that's misguided and don't have these people around them, or they just not listening. And that could be from maybe not having that connection early on. So that is the another part of the conversation that we're going to be having, because we want our community to be the representative of what we're trying to do as a unit. It takes. We have to be responsible for our own people. We can't reach everybody, even if we wanted to do this thing hand to hand, foot to foot. We can't reach them in the same capacity we can reach them through this particular platform, where we can have people listen and maybe make them think from a different standpoint, because all of us are at that uncle's age. I even got a lot of gray to demonstrate the age and the wisdom, hopefully. Chris cut his off, that's why you can't see it. He just got all chin.
There you go, man.
Derek got a little
You
bit, but
sound
Raymond,
like
I don't know what happened to
right
Raymond.
then. You know what? You sound. I felt like I was Shaq and you were Kobe.
I got.
He went out and cheated too.
It's visible on my part, but I don't know how Raymond an artist, so maybe he drawn.
Raymond got some Beijing at the house. I seen.
Yeah, Big ain't telling the whole story. Big didn't always. He won't always freely expressing his wisdom. I think the pandemic put that wisdom out.
There you go.
Hey yo, we got footage of that.
Yeah,
too. We got footage.
Because the first footage it won't looking like that. The hair, none of that was all. You saw stuff, black stuff, all right.
Hey, no, it was beautifully done. I used to dye my hair. I didn't use Beijing.
Shout out to who?
Barber. Shout out to my barber Tony Roberts. He had that thing looking spectacular. I'm 46. I might have been looking 36 with with everything dark brown, not black. Raymond hair black.
Raymond you got to realize Raymond can use that. What is that? Indigo?
No, I ain't using nothing.
Indigo is an herb. I told you it's natural for people. It take away your gray.
No, that herb.
Yeah, it's an indigo. It's like you can use henna and indigo, mix it together, and it'll make it natural, and it'll hold for like 3-4 months. There's videos out there showing it.
Let's
hold
say
your
this
joint without your gray going away for 3-4 months.
Let's say this.
And
Chris,
that's not no chemical. That's a natural herb.
Let's say this. Chris is a working herbologist.
Yep.
As well as D and his
well, that would be me and the wife. Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing too, because we've all had different ailments, and the one thing we can do, we can go to either one. See, that's the beauty of having a group like this, because everybody kind of has some things that they can do. Chris, I mean, I've had him even through this, dealing with this pandemic. I've had him to put, herbs together for me to send to people, because I've had people that have been exposed and actually that had COVID, and they say that they feel the difference with the herbs. I mean, the things that he know what he's doing. I just call him because I know that's who I need to call. I called Derek. Derek went over.
Witch doctor.
Yeah, the witch doctor. That's what some people.
The shaman, the shaman. We want to get it a little bit more.
Medicine man. He's the medicine man.
To his roots, the shaman, medicine man.
And my brother turned me on to it, actually, and got me and the wife started. Shout out to tiptop.health on Instagram, tip.top.health. I'm sorry, on Instagram, tiptophealth.com on the web. So shout out Mrs. Yeah. Yep. But my brother turned me on to it. I was dealing with something, and he sent me a package, a care package, and it got me back to where I needed to be. So that's when I developed an interest for it.
Yeah. So it's just another facet of the unit. It's good to have a unit of people you can depend on. We all have these interpersonal things that's happening, from the romantic relationships where you may need some advice, or even something dealing with your kid, or just, you may just be having a bad day, man. One of these dudes can pick you up You know, Raymond, he out there, you know, moving stuff around all day. I move stuff around during the day, but the flexibility to be able to just pick that phone up and be able to have a conversation with somebody is powerful. We all need people like that in our lives. This is not a loner sport. Being on Earth and moving through it is not a loner sport. What happens if you try to do it alone, you'll freak out or flip out, or, you know, that's just how people go crazy or how they do crazy things. And I was talking to my son. Man, my son just turned, my oldest child, my son just turned 27 on Christmas Day this year. And man, what a difference talking to him now than even 3 years ago. He went to college, graduated, and I told him, and see, this is another thing too. Fathers, you have to be harder on your sons. Your sons are gonna be the people that are running companies, running a family, being involved in social activities. You know, they're gonna be the leaders. You have to be a strong man because society needs that from you. So fathers, uncles, even big brothers, we need you to step up with if there's a void and remind our young men that are coming up that this is where they're going, this is what they be, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to help. And that's another message we want to put out, is that is why we are here. We are here to help. Not saying that we're going to alienate our young ladies, that our young ladies moving to become adults. We're not going to alienate you. There's going to be some responsibilities for you. So that's, you know, me on my soapbox. But
okay.
you know,
on your soapbox.
Hey, I mean, you know, we got to put it out there because that's going to be a big part of what we're going to talk about. Because
I mean, that's I think a well balanced discussion will be administered from us. But I mean, I know we all have our passions about what we want to push out there.
That's right.
Know, but you know,
yeah, that's an interesting perspective. You have so many women raising sons on their own, or raising them with a father outside of the household, and a woman doesn't see it like that. You know, you always hear women say, you know, men are hard on these boys. You know, they act like they can't cry and things of things like that. And my whole thing is, like I had to explain to my wife, you can never understand how to raise a man.
That's right.
You can never understand that. So you interfering in some parts of me trying to raise this man can be a problem at times. And you know, I've said this on another show. I asked the ladies one question: would you date your son? Would you date a man that has the same is similar to your son? And if you could say yes, then you're doing a good job.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of women can't say yes to that, and they want to.
I think it's because they can't separate it. They always look at this child as their baby instead of as this person that I need to be helping to take care of the people that, you know, that he gonna need to take care of.
Yeah, you're exactly correct. And that's a problem. That's not only your child, that's an individual that's going out into society, and you want him to be productive. You want him to be strong. You want him to be a leader, and you want him to be able to take care of his own family one day.
That's right.
And you have to prepare him for that.
On this earth is not a single person sport or world. You have to include others to help you, and you have to be able to recognize that you need help. You don't have all the answers. You don't have all the solutions. You know, you have to recognize that, okay, this is where I'm weak and this is where I need to have somebody come in and help me out. It doesn't mean you give up your parental decision making and all of that, but you got to look at your children, your boys and your girls, as if, am I raising them to be somebody's mate properly? Not, these are my babies and I want to take care of them. you're gonna make super dependent adults, which we've seen that. We've seen, every one of us has seen the adults that can't function. When their parents die, they leave them a house, and a year later it's sold. They done smoked up everything, or they done mismanaged everything. The whole thing that the parents worked the entire life for, to build and be able to leave, to pass on to the next generation. Parents die, last parent die, 6 months to a year, is gone, because that child was not equipped to be able to move the family forward. Because what happens is, in the Black community, from a wealth standpoint, we're far behind. But it seems as if I've seen this a lot in this generation of even people on my peer level, where the parents were the first generation that were, I'm not going to say wealthy, but it was true middle class, and they actually had some things to leave. It would maybe not always maybe be a ton of things, but it had some things to leave. They leave you a house, they may leave you some vehicles or something like that. The house should be somewhere, should be a refuge for the house. You shouldn't ever be homeless when somebody leaves your house. So these are the things that we have to think about when we're raising our children. Y'all got any input on that? I'm on my soapbox again.
Yeah. I mean, I know that that's a facet that we are talking about, because those things, rearing children is one of the things that affects our community from generational standpoints. You know, we also want to make sure that we include those peers as far as what, us being, willing to help one another, bridging gaps in order to be able to be that community. Because we, as in the past, when what we've done to try to bridge, communities with one another, that's what we want to do also with this, is to be able to bring everybody together, especially with everybody else having things going on in their life. Somebody may have a talent or resource that we don't have, so that we can connect to that person, so that they can connect to somebody that may need that resource. So it's all about trying to bridge, the community on a wider level. We don't want to just be, okay, well, you over here doing that and that person over here doing that. Okay, well, hey, if that person has something, why not connect them and then make a stronger bridge in the Black community? Because that's what it is about. It's about trying to build up us as a whole as well, and that's just a facet of rearing and helping one another is the fact is what we're trying to build with this platform.
Definitely. Chris, you got any input?
Good input. I mean, like I say, structure come in with the house, teach one, reach one. I feel like, a lot of people are not taking the time, like you're saying, as parents, become parents like we was raised with grandparents and fathers and mothers. You can't just let work dictate your child's life. I'm too busy to teach them, so the teacher will teach them, and the video games will teach her, and MTV will teach them, and whatever he like to watch, the dumb SpongeBob and stuff, that'll teach him. Well, no, you got to take time out to invest in your child. You got to give them some guidance other than just somebody else giving them guidance, and that's where a lot of I think relationships with parents, we don't have. I mean, mothers ain't mothers no more, and fathers ain't fathers. It is some, but everybody, when you look at the neighborhoods, and I'm not saying all these kids that's out here that's doing wrong don't have a good family, because it is some that do have a good family, but they just hang with the wrong kids and mimic what the wrong kids do. But we don't have the neighborhoods like we used to have the neighborhoods. And the neighborhoods used to raise, the community used to raise the kids. We need to get back to a function that each kid is accountable for that neighborhood, instead of just letting the kids do the things they do and don't correct them. Some kids are doing grown things that shouldn't be smoking. I mean, if you see a child is 10 years old smoking, you need to stop them. If you see a 10-year-old drinking beer, you need to stop them. When you shut your mouth and turn your blind eye to a situation, and you call yourself a father or a man, and I know what Derek say, these kids crazy, and he wanted to say something, in the mall and all. It's hard when everybody is scared to reach out to the kids.
So let's see. So with that being said, we final comments, Raymond?
My final thought is the fact that of course, collectively, us together as a unit, brings about the best in each and every one of us, because of course in this it's a thing where iron sharpens iron, and we try to help one another, in our shortcomings, as well as our best, best assets to what we bring to the table. And all of the things that we, hold near and dear, we do put that up. Family, of course, is one. Raising kids, that's another thing that's important to us. And and how our lives have been shaped, especially, is one of the things that we hold near and dear. And try to use that as a guide to give someone else, as to be able to be a better person. I'm gonna hand it off to Chris so he can go ahead and say what he got to say.
Well, I thank all y'all. So we have a platform to hear, because this is my therapy. This is where I get my frustration off. This is therapy that I can talk to y'all. I can be myself and express myself, my frustration, my opinions, my wild conspiracy theories, and everything. I love being up here with my three brothers, and we all go over here and we put our opinions together and we get some good information. So I appreciate being here, and this is my therapy. Because we all need somebody to talk to. It might sound crazy to somebody else, but this is my therapy session here. This is like Solomon the God go talk to some white lady with a book, but I get up here with my brothers and I let it all off.
All right.
All right, next, Derek.
Yeah, I appreciate all you all for being there for me over the years, and us having these conversations. And we talk about different subjects that affect our lives and our community, and now we're able to share that with the world. I want to say thank you for always being there for me and always giving me insight when I need it. I really appreciate it. I want to hand this off to Mr. Big.
Big in the house. That was, never mind.
Yeah.
Yo, but I'm looking forward to being able to share. And like Chris said, it's definitely is therapy. I think through our conversations, there's going to be things that's going to help people in our community, and everyone's welcome to come. There is a target of people that we're trying to get the message to help, but we also know that there's also opportunity for other people to assist in these ways. In what our shows, you'll be seeing there will be other people we'll have on as guests to help out. Like I said, we got Hezekiah that helps us out a lot. When one of us is absent, he typically comes in and fills in the gaps, but we also have guests. We've got shows that come from different facets. We have a lot of fun. We're serious at different times. And I just appreciate these three guys right here, because we have put work into this, and we want to definitely the whole thing is just to share it with the world and try to do our part to make the world a better place. And that's what this is about. So with that being said, this is something you're going to get used to hearing every week. Derek, it's on you, brother.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Get established.
This has been the premiere or the opening show of the Get Established show. Remember to look for us starting on January 17th this year, and we'll be releasing a video every Sunday. We look forward to spending time with you, and we hope y'all look forward to spending time with us. But for me, Big, Raymond, Chilla, and D. Jones, this has been the Get Established Premiere Show. New for 2021. Look for hashtag GES 2021. We'll see you.